Welcome to Monk's Temple. Let us begin by simply arriving here. Wherever you are, whatever thoughts are moving through your mind, just for this moment, give yourself permission to stop. Stop trying to get somewhere. Stop trying to figure things out. Just breathe. One breath in. One breath out. That is all that is required right now. Today we are going to sit with a question that has disturbed and liberated seekers for over 2,000 years. The question is this: what if the ultimate goal of your life is not to become something magnificent, but to become nothing at all? This question sounds strange because we live in a culture obsessed with becoming. From the moment we are children, we are told to make something of ourselves. Become successful. Become important. Become memorable. The entire structure of modern society is built on this assumption, that you are currently not enough, and you must strive to become enough. But what if this assumption is wrong? What if the striving itself is the problem? To explore this, we must travel back to ancient India. A man sits under a tree, having tried everything. He has fasted until his body is skeletal. He has studied with the greatest teachers of his time. He has practiced every spiritual technique available. And still, he suffers. Still, he seeks. Still, he feels that something is missing. And then, in the stillness of one night, he stops. He stops striving. He stops seeking. He stops trying to become anything at all. And in that stopping, something profound happens. He awakens. He becomes the Buddha, the awakened one. But what did he awaken to? He awakened to a truth that others had missed. The spiritual teachers of his time spoke in beautiful, positive terms. They spoke of God, of the Absolute, of eternal life, of bliss, of light so brilliant it could outshine 1,000 suns. These words inspired millions. They gave people hope. They painted pictures of magnificent destinations. But the Buddha noticed something happening inside the human mind when it heard these beautiful words. If you tell someone there is God, the mind immediately says, I want to reach God. If you tell them there is eternal life, the mind says, I want to achieve eternal life. If you tell them there is perfect bliss, the mind says, I want to experience that bliss. In every case, the I remains untouched. The I becomes the seeker. The I becomes the one who will possess God, eternal life, and bliss. The Buddha saw this as a tragedy. The ego, which is the very source of human suffering, was not being dissolved by these beautiful teachings. It was being decorated. It was being sanctified. It was being given a new and improved project, the project of spiritual achievement. So the Buddha made a radical choice. He chose to speak in negatives. He chose words that gave the ego nothing to hold on to. Let me tell you a brief story. A wealthy merchant came to the Buddha one day. He was successful by every worldly measure, yet he was deeply miserable. He said, I have everything, and I have nothing. What is wrong with me? The Buddha picked up an empty cup. He held it out and asked, what is in this cup? The merchant said, it is empty. The Buddha then gestured to the vast sky above them. And what is in the sky? The merchant said, it is also empty. The Buddha smiled. You are correct. But these are two different kinds of empty. The cup is empty because it is small and waiting to be filled. Its emptiness is a lack, a poverty. The sky is empty because it is vast and contains everything. Its emptiness is freedom. You think you are a cup. You are trying to fill yourself with wealth, with achievements, with relationships. But you are not a cup. You are the sky. You have always been the sky. You are just too full of clouds to notice. This is the heart of what the Buddha taught. He called the ultimate goal Nirvana, which means to blow out or to extinguish. It is like blowing out a candle. The flame flickers, dances, consumes fuel, casts both light and shadow. When you blow it out, the flickering stops. The consumption stops. The shadows disappear. But the Buddha refused to describe what remains after the flame is gone. He refused to give it a positive name. Because he knew that as soon as he said, "What remains is your true self, which is eternal and blissful," the ego would grab hold of that and start a new project of becoming. The flame would find new fuel. So he left it as emptiness. He left it as void. He created a path that offers the ego absolutely nothing to hold on to. And in doing so, he opened a door to a freedom that cannot be described, only experienced. If this reflection is stirring something in you, please take a moment to subscribe to Monk's Temple. This is a space where ancient wisdom meets modern life, and your subscription helps us continue this work together. In our next part, we will explore what this emptiness actually means through the story of a woman who lost everything and found something she never expected. We will look at the difference between the emptiness of lack and the emptiness of freedom. For now, rest in this image. See yourself as a small flame, flickering, grasping, burning. And then imagine what it would feel like to be gently, lovingly extinguished. Not destroyed. Not ended. But released from the constant effort of burning. In our first time together, we explored the Buddha's radical choice to use negative language. He called the ultimate goal Nirvana, which means extinguishing. He did this to prevent the ego from turning spirituality into another project of grasping. But this naturally raises a question: if Nirvana is emptiness, why would anyone want it? This question reveals something important about us. We are addicted to gain. We cannot imagine a goal that is not about acquiring something. We want to get enlightened, achieve liberation, attain peace. The very structure of our thinking is built on accumulation. The Buddha knew that the only way to break this addiction was to offer a goal that could not be grasped. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Kisagami. She was a young mother who experienced every parent's deepest nightmare. Her only child, a baby boy, died suddenly. She was inconsolable. She refused to accept that her son was gone. She carried his tiny body from house to house, begging for medicine that could bring him back. People thought she had lost her mind. Finally, someone took pity on her and said, "Go to the Buddha. He has medicine. He can help you." She went to the Buddha, clutching her dead child, and fell at his feet. "Please," she wept, "give me medicine to bring my son back." The Buddha looked at her with infinite compassion. He did not lecture her. He did not tell her that her son was gone. Instead, he said, "Yes, I can help you. But first, bring me a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one has ever died." Kisagami's heart leaped with hope. She went to the first house and asked for mustard seeds. The woman gladly gave her some. Then Kisagami asked, "Has anyone ever died in this house?" The woman's face grew sad. My husband died 2 years ago. Kisagami went to the next house. Again, she received mustard seeds. Again, she asked her question. My mother died here last year, she was told. She went to house after house, street after street, village after village. Every house had mustard seeds. Every house had also experienced death. By the end of the day, Kisagami had not found a single house untouched by loss. She sat down by the road, exhausted, her dead child still in her arms. And for the first time, she really looked at what she was carrying. She understood. She was not alone in her suffering. Every house, every family carried the same burden. Death was not a punishment visited upon her. It was a condition shared by all. She returned to the Buddha, but she no longer carried her child. She had cremated him. She came empty-handed. She came with nothing. The Buddha looked at her and said, "Now you are ready for the medicine. What is subject to arising is also subject to ceasing. Your son arose. Your son ceased. You arose. One day, you will cease. This is not a tragedy. This is nature. When you see this without resistance, you are free." Kisagami became one of the Buddha's foremost disciples. Not because she gained something, but because she finally understood how to let go completely. This story illuminates what emptiness really means. It is not a void to be feared. It is a recognition of how things actually are. Think about a wave on the ocean. The wave rises. It has a shape, a form, a brief identity. It catches the sunlight. It moves across the water. But then it crashes against the shore and disappears. Where did it go? Did it cease to exist? No. It simply returned to what it always was, the ocean. Its waveness was temporary. Its oceanness was eternal. The ego is the wave. It rises, it has a shape, it moves through the world. But its nature is to crash and dissolve. The problem is not that the wave crashes. The problem is that the wave thinks it is separate from the ocean. It spends its entire existence fearing dissolution, grasping at other waves, trying to become permanent. Nirvana is the wave realizing it was always the ocean. It is not the destruction of the wave. It is the end of the wave's delusion that it was ever separate. Modern psychology has a term for what the Buddha described. It is called identification. We identify with our thoughts, our feelings, our bodies, our roles. We say, "I am angry," as if anger defines us. We say, "I am a failure," as if failure is our identity. Every identification is a wave claiming to be separate from the ocean. The Buddha's path is the path of de-identification. It is learning to see that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that notices thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the space in which emotions arise and pass away. You are not your body. You are the consciousness that animates the body. When you de-identify from all these things, what is left? Nothing you can grasp. Nothing you can call mine. And yet, paradoxically, everything that ever was. You are no longer a wave fighting for survival. You are the ocean, perfectly at peace, containing all waves. Try this simple practice right now. Notice a thought that arises in your mind. Just one thought. Maybe it is a worry. Maybe it is a memory. Now ask yourself, who is noticing this thought? Is the thought noticing itself? Or is there something deeper, something still, that is aware of the thought? Sit with that question. Do not answer with thinking. Just feel into it. Feel the presence of the one who is aware. That presence is not a thought. It is not a thing you can possess. It is simply awareness itself, empty of all content. And yet, fully awake. This is a glimpse. Just a glimpse. But in that glimpse, you have already stepped out of the wave and tasted the ocean. In our next part, we will explore why the Buddha's negative language was so controversial and why it eventually led to his teachings disappearing from India. We will tell another story, this time about a king who tried to possess emptiness. For now, rest in this awareness. You are not the thoughts. You are the space in which they dance. That space has never been born and will never die. When you are ready to continue, simply say continue. We have been walking through the Buddha's radical teaching that the ultimate goal is not acquisition but release. We explored how he used negative language to prevent the ego from turning spirituality into another project. We sat with Kisagotami, who found freedom by letting go completely. Now we must confront a difficult truth. The Buddha's teaching, in its original form, virtually disappeared from India, the land where it was born. Buddhism flourished in China, Japan, Tibet, and Southeast Asia. But in India, it was gradually absorbed back into the traditions from which it emerged. Why? The answer reveals something profound about the human mind. India, for thousands of years before the Buddha, was saturated with positive spiritual language. The sacred text spoke of Brahman as existence, consciousness, and bliss. They spoke of the Atman, the true self, as eternal and indestructible. They painted pictures of gods and goddesses, of heavenly realms, of liberation as permanent joy. The entire culture was in love with these positive images. Then came the Buddha. He did not speak of an eternal self. He spoke of no self. He did not speak of permanent heaven. He spoke of extinguishing. He did not speak of ultimate bliss. He spoke of emptiness. People were drawn to him because of his presence. They could feel that this man who spoke of nothing was somehow fuller than anyone they had ever met. His compassion was tangible. His peace was undeniable. They followed him because of who he was, not because of what he said. But after his death, something predictable happened. The philosophers and scholars took over. They tried to systematize his teachings, to build logical structures around emptiness. And the common people found it impossible to generate devotion for a concept like void. It was too cold, too abstract, too frightening. The ego, left alone, will always prefer a beautiful positive goal. It wants a heaven to go to, a God to pray to, a self to perfect. It cannot sit with nothing. Let me tell you a story about a king named Ashoka, who lived a few centuries after the Buddha. Ashoka began as a brutal conqueror. He waged war against Kalinga, and the slaughter was so immense it transformed him. He walked onto the battlefield afterward and saw hundreds of thousands dead. He heard the wailing of widows and orphans. Something broke inside him. He converted to Buddhism. He dedicated the rest of his life to peace, to building hospitals, to planting trees, to sending missionaries across Asia. He became one of the greatest patrons Buddhism has ever known. But Ashoka had a problem. He was a king. He was used to building things, conquering things, possessing things. He wanted to possess the Buddha's teaching. So he called a great council of monks to decide what the true teaching was. He had their conclusions carved on pillars throughout his empire. Do you see what happened? The teaching of emptiness, of letting go, of becoming nothing, was being institutionalized. It was being turned into something to possess, something to defend. The ego of the king, even a compassionate king, could not resist the urge to grasp. This is the tragedy the Buddha foresaw. He once said his teaching was like a raft. You build a raft to cross a river. But once you reach the other shore, you do not carry the raft on your head. You leave it behind. The teaching is a tool, not a possession. But we are not good at leaving things behind. We want to carry everything with us. Consider your own life. How many things are you carrying that you no longer need? Old resentments, ancient grudges, past identities. You graduated from school years ago, but you still carry the label of being the smart one. A relationship ended a decade past, but you still carry the wound. You made a mistake once, and you still carry the shame. We are expert carriers. We have turned our minds into storage units overflowing with obsolete furniture. And when the Buddha says, "Let go of it all," we panic. We say, "But what will I be without my wounds?" This is the fear of emptiness. It is the fear that if we let go of everything, there will be nothing left. But the Buddha's invitation is to discover that what is left is not nothing. What is left is the spaciousness that was always there, hidden beneath the clutter. Think about a room filled with furniture. Chairs, tables, cabinets, boxes. The room is so full you can barely move. Now imagine removing all the furniture. Is the room empty? Yes. But that emptiness is not a lack. It is potential. Now you can dance in that room. Now you can finally see the walls, the floor, the windows. The furniture was hiding the room itself. Your mind is that room. Your thoughts, beliefs, identities, and wounds are the furniture. Nirvana is not adding better furniture. Nirvana is clearing the room. This is why the Buddha's teaching was so hard for India to absorb. India was in love with its furniture. It had beautiful furniture, ancient furniture, sacred furniture. The idea of clearing the room entirely was too radical. The Buddhism that spread to other countries had to compromise. It reintroduced positive language. It started speaking of Buddha realms and celestial beings. It gave people beautiful furniture again. And that furniture helped countless beings find peace. But it was not the original teaching. The original teaching, in its purest form, remains the most challenging spiritual path ever offered. If you are still with me, you are ready for the next part. We will explore what it actually feels like to let go. We will tell another story about a man who spent 20 years building a fortress. For now, just notice what you are holding. Notice the furniture in your mind. And ask yourself, am I willing to clear just one small corner? We have been exploring why the Buddha's original teaching of emptiness was so challenging that it eventually disappeared from India. People preferred beautiful furniture to an empty room. They wanted something to hold on to, something to believe in, something to possess. Now we must go even deeper. Because if you have been following along, a question may be arising in you. It is the same question that arose in the Buddha's own disciples. The question is, If nirvana is emptiness, if it is letting go of everything, then what about love? What about compassion? What about joy? Are these also furniture to be cleared away? This is a vital question. And the Buddha's answer reveals the profound subtlety of his teaching. Let me tell you a story about a man named Javaka. He was the Buddha's personal physician, a skilled doctor who cared for the Buddha's body for many years. Javaka was devoted to the Buddha, but he was also a practical man. He dealt with broken bones and fevers and infections. He was not interested in abstract philosophy. One day, Javaka came to the Buddha with a troubled heart. He said, "Sir, I have been listening to your teachings for many years. I understand that attachment causes suffering. I understand that we must let go of craving. But I am a doctor. Every day, I feel compassion for my patients. I want them to get better. I suffer when they suffer. Is this compassion also something I must let go of? Must I become cold and indifferent to be free?" The Buddha looked at his dear friend and physician with immense love. He picked up a lamp that was burning nearby. He said, "Javaka, imagine this lamp is your compassion. It gives light. It warms. It helps people see. Now, if you grasp this lamp tightly in your hand, what will happen?" Javaka said, "I will burn myself. And I will drop the lamp." The Buddha said, "Exactly. The lamp must be held, but not grasped. It must be used, but not possessed. Compassion that is grasped becomes attachment. It burns you. And when you are burned, you drop it, and then no one receives its light. True compassion is like the light of this lamp. It asks nothing in return. It does not say, 'I am compassionate.' It simply shines." This story illuminates something essential. The ego can corrupt anything, even love. We have all experienced this. You love someone, but your love comes with strings attached. You want them to love you back. You want them to behave in certain ways. You want them to make you feel good. This is not love. This is love grasping itself, burning itself. The Buddha's emptiness is not the absence of love. It is the absence of the possessor of love. When the I that claims to be loving disappears, what remains is love itself, flowing without obstruction, asking nothing, giving everything. Think about the sun. The sun shines on everything equally. It shines on the rich and the poor, the virtuous and the wicked, those who praise it and those who curse it. The sun does not say, "I am generous." The sun does not keep a ledger of who received its light. It simply shines because that is its nature. When the ego is extinguished, you become like the sun. Compassion flows from you not because you are trying to be compassionate, but because that is your nature. Joy arises not because you have found something to be joyful about, but because joy is what you are. This is the paradox at the heart of the Buddha's teaching. By becoming nothing, you become everything. By letting go of all qualities, you embody all qualities. By extinguishing the small flame of the ego, you become the vast sky that contains all stars. Let me give you a modern example. Think about a time when you were completely absorbed in helping someone. Perhaps a child was hurt and you comforted them without thinking. Perhaps a friend was in crisis and you listened for hours, not noticing the time. In those moments, was there a strong sense of, "I am being compassionate"? Usually not. You were just present. You were just responding. The compassion flowed through you, but you were not grasping it. Afterward, someone might say, "That was so kind of you." And you might feel a little embarrassed because you don't really feel like you did anything. You were just there. That is a glimpse of egoless love. That is a taste of what the Buddha is pointing toward. Now contrast that with times when you have tried very hard to be compassionate. You saw someone suffering and you thought, "I should help them. A good person would help them." You approached them with a sense of duty, of obligation. You may have helped, but it felt heavy. There was a sense of effort, of strain. That is love with an "I" attached. That is compassion being grasped. The Buddha's path is not about becoming a better person. It is about discovering the person you are trying to become is the very obstacle. When the "I" that wants to be compassionate dissolves, compassion is what remains. When the "I" that wants to be peaceful dissolves, peace is what remains. When the "I" that wants to be enlightened dissolves, enlightenment is what remains. This is why the Buddha's teaching is so difficult. It does not ask you to improve yourself. It asks you to see that the self you are trying to improve is the problem. It asks you to let go of the very thing every spiritual path tries to perfect. In our next part, we will explore what this letting go actually feels like in practice. We will tell another story, this time about a musician who learned to play by forgetting himself completely. For now, sit with this question: can you love without claiming to be a lover? Can you help without claiming to be a helper? Can you be kind without claiming to be kind? Just for a moment, try it. Let the action flow without an "I" attached. See what that feels like. We have been exploring the paradox at the heart of the Buddha's teaching. By becoming nothing, you become everything. By letting go of the ego, qualities like love and compassion flow naturally, without grasping. The "I" that tries to be loving is actually the obstacle to love. Now we must ask a practical question. How does this letting go actually happen? How do we move from understanding these concepts to living them? The Buddha was not a philosopher building abstract systems. He was a physician offering a practical path. He called this path the Eightfold Path, but we can understand it more simply as a way of training the mind to see clearly. Let me tell you a story about a musician named Vimla. He was a master of the veena, an ancient stringed instrument. His music was famous throughout the land. Kings invited him to play in their courts. Crowds gathered whenever he performed. But Vimla was not happy. He felt that his music had become mechanical. He played the same notes, the same compositions, night after night. The joy had gone out of it. One day, he heard that the Buddha was staying nearby. He went to see him, hoping for advice that might restore his passion. He found the Buddha sitting under a tree and poured out his heart. "I have mastered my instrument," he said, "but I have lost the music. What should I do?" The Buddha asked, "Tell me, Vimla, when you play, how do you tune your veena?" Vimla said, "I tighten the strings to raise the pitch. I loosen them to lower it." The Buddha asked, "And if the strings are too tight, what happens?" Vimla said, "They break. The music stops." The Buddha asked, "And if they are too loose, what happens?" Vimla said, "They cannot produce sound. The music is dull and dead." The Buddha smiled. The path to liberation is the same. Not too tight, not too loose. Effort, but not straining. Relaxation, but not laziness. You have been tightening your mind, trying too hard to be a great musician. The strings of your mind are too tight. Loosen them just a little, and the music will return. This story contains the essence of the Buddha's practical teaching. The path is not about extreme effort or extreme passivity. It is about finding the middle way. The middle way between grasping and indifference. The middle way between striving and sloth. The middle way between becoming and nothingness. Most of us live at one extreme or the other. Either we are constantly striving, pushing, achieving, grasping. Or we have given up, collapsed into numbness, and pretend that not caring is freedom. The Buddha says both are wrong. Both are suffering in different forms. The middle way is a different kind of effort. It is the effort of attention, not the effort of achievement. It is the effort of noticing, not the effort of changing. It is the effort of being present with what is, rather than trying to make things different. Let me give you a modern example. Imagine you are sitting in meditation. Thoughts arise. Your mind wanders to work, to a conversation you had yesterday, to what you will eat for dinner. The striving approach says, stop these thoughts. Focus. Clear your mind. This tightens the strings. It creates tension. It leads to frustration. The lazy approach says, oh well, thinking is natural. I'll just let my mind wander wherever it wants. This loosens the strings too much. It leads to dullness, to sleepiness, to daydreaming. No music arises. The middle way is different. When a thought arises, you notice it. You do not fight it. You do not follow it. You simply see it, acknowledge it, and gently return your attention to the breath. No struggle. No judgment. Just awareness, patiently returning, moment after moment. This is the practice. And this practice, done consistently, begins to loosen the grip of the ego. The I that fights thoughts begins to relax. The I that follows thoughts begins to lose its fascination. What remains is just awareness itself, watching the dance of the mind without being caught in it. Over time, this awareness deepens. It begins to penetrate not just thoughts, but emotions, sensations, and finally the sense of self itself. You begin to see that the I is just another thought, just another sensation, arising and passing away like everything else. And in that seeing, the grasping finally stops. The flame is extinguished. Nirvana is realized. But notice, Nirvana is not the result of this practice. It is not something you achieve at the end. It is present in each moment of clear seeing. Every time you notice a thought without getting caught in it, there is a moment of nirvana. Every time you feel an emotion without being possessed by it, there is a moment of freedom. The path and the goal are not separate. Each step of the path is itself a taste of the destination. In our next part, we will explore what happens when this awareness deepens further. We will tell another story, this time about a woman who spent years building a wall around herself and what happened when she finally looked through the window. For now, try this practice. Sit quietly for a few moments. Notice your breath. When thoughts arise, do not fight them. Do not follow them. Just notice them and gently return. Not too tight. Not too loose. Just this gentle, patient awareness. This is the middle way. This is the path. We have been exploring the practical path of the middle way. Not too tight, not too loose. The gentle effort of awareness rather than the straining effort of achievement. Each moment of clear seeing is itself a taste of nirvana. Now we must go further. Because as this awareness deepens, something unexpected begins to happen. The walls we have spent our lives building begin to crumble. And this can be terrifying. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Sumana. She was a wealthy widow who lived alone in a large house on the outskirts of a bustling city. After her husband died, she had slowly built walls around herself. Walls of routine, walls of suspicion, walls of self-sufficiency. She trusted no one. She let no one in. Her house became a fortress, and she was the prisoner. One evening, a young monk came to her gate, begging for his daily meal. Sumana saw him through a crack in the door. She felt the old fear rise. She almost sent him away. But something in his eyes, something peaceful and undemanding, made her hesitate. She opened the door just wide enough to hand him a bowl of rice. The monk smiled and said, "Thank you, sister. May you be happy." Then he walked away. That night, Sumana could not sleep. Those words echoed in her mind. May you be happy. No one had wished her happiness in years. She had forgotten that happiness was even possible. The next evening, she was waiting at the gate. When the monk appeared, she invited him in. She prepared a meal. She asked him questions about his life, about his practice, about the Buddhist teachings. He answered simply, without preaching, without trying to convert her. He just shared his experience. Over the following months, a friendship developed. Sumana's walls began to show cracks. Light was coming in. She started to trust, first the monk, then a neighbor, then herself. She began to meditate, to sit with her own mind, to see the fear that had driven her to build the fortress in the first place. One day, the monk did not come. She waited, but he never appeared. Days passed. Weeks. She inquired and learned that he had moved to another region to teach. The old fear rose up. The walls wanted to rebuild. The voice in her head said, "See? This is why you cannot trust. Everyone leaves. Everyone abandons you. Close the gate. Lock the door." But something had changed. The meditation had given her a new tool. She sat with the fear instead of acting on it. She watched it arise, felt it in her body, noticed the thoughts it generated. And she saw something for the first time. The fear was not her. It was just a visitor, passing through. The walls were not protecting her. They were suffocating her. She let the fear be there without building walls around it. And slowly, it passed. The grief of losing her friend passed. What remained was gratitude that he had come at all. What remained was the openness he had helped her discover. Sumana went on to become a teacher herself, known for her compassion toward those who were afraid. She would often say, "The walls you build to keep danger out also keep love out. The locks that protect you also imprison you." The only real safety is the courage to open the gate. This story illustrates a profound truth about the spiritual path. The ego is a fortress builder. It constructs walls of identity, belief, and defensiveness to protect itself from the world. But these walls become a prison. They cut us off from life itself. The path of awareness is the path of seeing these walls for what they are. Not tearing them down aggressively, which creates more walls, but simply seeing them clearly. In the light of awareness, walls become transparent. They lose their solidity. They are seen as the insubstantial constructions they always were. Think about your own walls. What are they? Perhaps you have built a wall around your heart because you were hurt in the past. The wall says, "I will not love again. It is too dangerous." This wall feels like protection, but it is actually a death sentence. It cuts you off from the very thing that makes life worth living. Perhaps you have built a wall around your identity. You are a certain kind of person with certain beliefs, certain opinions, certain loyalties. The wall says, "This is who I am. Do not challenge me." This wall feels like stability, but it is actually stagnation. It prevents you from growing, from changing, from becoming more fully alive. The Buddha's invitation is not to tear down these walls with force. That would be another ego project. The invitation is to simply see them. To observe them with the gentle, patient awareness we have been cultivating. And in that seeing, they begin to dissolve on their own. This is the miracle of awareness. It does not fight. It does not struggle. It simply shines, and in its light, shadows disappear. Walls become doors. Fortresses become gardens. Prisoners become free. In our next part, we will explore the final stage of this journey. We will tell a story about a man who searched for treasure his whole life, only to discover it was buried beneath his own house. We will sit with the ultimate paradox, that you have always been what you are seeking. For now, just notice your walls. Notice where you have closed yourself off. Notice the places where you say, "I will not go there," or "I will not let anyone in." Do not try to change anything. Just notice. Bring the light of awareness to these walls. That is enough for now. We have been walking together through the Buddha's radical teaching. We have explored emptiness, the middle way, the walls we build, and the gradual dissolution of the ego through awareness. Now we arrive at the final paradox. The ultimate realization that the Buddha pointed toward is not something you gain. It is something you recognize. It has been here all along. Let me tell you a story about a man named Dhammika. He was a seeker, the kind of person who could never sit still. From his youth, he was obsessed with finding the truth. He traveled to every teacher, every hermit, every sage within 1,000 miles. He studied every scripture, practiced every technique, performed every ritual. He spent 40 years searching. His family thought he was mad. His friends gave up on him. He became a wandering ascetic, owning nothing, staying nowhere, always moving toward the next teacher, the next teaching, the next promise of enlightenment. One day, old and tired, he heard about a monk who lived in a cave in the mountains. This monk was said to be enlightened. Dhammika climbed the mountain, his body aching, his heart still restless. He found the monk sitting quietly outside the cave, watching the sunset. Dhammika fell at his feet. Please, he begged, I have searched for 40 years. I have studied with 100 teachers. I have practiced every method. And I am still not free. I am still suffering. I am still seeking. Tell me, what is the secret? What am I missing? The old monk looked at him with compassion. Come, he said, sit beside me and watch the sunset. Demika was frustrated. He had not climbed a mountain to watch a sunset. But he was too tired to argue. He sat down. They watched in silence as the sun sank below the horizon. The sky turned orange, then purple, then deep blue. Stars began to appear. The air grew cool. Demika noticed that for the first time in 40 years, he was not thinking about the next teacher, the next practice, the next goal. He was just sitting. Just watching. Just being. After a long time, the monk spoke. Tell me, he said, did you see the sunset? Demika nodded. Yes. It was beautiful. Did you see the stars appear? Yes. Did you feel the cool air on your skin? Yes. The monk smiled. Then you have found what you were looking for. The sunset was always setting. The stars were always appearing. The air was always touching your skin. But you were never present to experience them. You were always somewhere else, seeking something else, becoming something else. The truth was not in the caves of the Himalayas. It was not in the scriptures. It was not in the teachers. It was here, in this moment, waiting for you to arrive. Demika wept. Not tears of sadness, but tears of recognition. He had spent 40 years searching for something that had never been lost. He had been like a man riding an ox while searching for the ox. He had been like a fish swimming in the ocean, dying of thirst because it did not know it was surrounded by water. This story is your story. It is my story. It is the story of every seeker who has ever lived. We spend our lives searching for something we believe we lack. We think happiness is somewhere in the future, if we can just achieve the right thing, find the right person, become the right version of ourselves. We think peace is somewhere else, in a different circumstance, a different relationship, a different bank account. We think enlightenment is a destination we will reach after enough practice, enough sacrifice, enough effort. But the Buddha's entire teaching is an invitation to stop. To stop searching. To stop becoming. To stop striving. Not because these things are wrong, but because they are based on a fundamental misunderstanding. They are based on the belief that you are not already what you seek. You are not a wave trying to become the ocean. You are the ocean, momentarily appearing as a wave. The wave's search for the ocean is unnecessary. It is already the ocean. It just needs to recognize what it has always been. This is why the Buddha used negative language. He could not say, "You are already enlightened," because the ego would immediately grasp that and turn it into another possession. "I am enlightened" becomes the new identity, the new wave, the new prison. So he said, there is no self. There is no seeker. There is only emptiness. He used these words to shatter the very framework of seeking. When the seeker dissolves, what remains is not a void. What remains is the sunset, the stars, the cool air. What remains is life itself, flowing freely, unobstructed by the constant commentary of the I. What remains is you, but not the you thought you were. What remains is the vast, open, empty sky that has always been your true nature. Look at your own life. How much of your energy is spent seeking something? A better job, a better relationship, a better version of yourself. Even now, listening to these words, part of you may be seeking enlightenment, seeking peace, seeking the next insight. Notice that seeking. Just notice it. Do not judge it. Do not try to stop it. Just see it clearly. And in that seeing, for just a moment, the seeking stops. In that gap, there is peace. Not the peace of achievement, but the peace of arrival. The peace of recognizing that you have never been anywhere else. You have always been here. You have always been what you seek. This is the end of the journey. Not because you have arrived at a destination, but because you have realized there was nowhere to go. The path was never about getting somewhere. It was about waking up to where you have always been. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for your attention, your presence, your willingness to sit with these ancient teachings. May the peace that is your true nature reveal itself to you in every moment. May you find the courage to let go of everything you are not, so that what you have always been can shine through. Welcome back. We have traveled far together on this journey through the Buddha's radical teaching. We have explored emptiness, the middle way, the walls we build, and the final recognition that what we seek has always been here. But the journey does not end with understanding. Understanding is just the beginning. Now we must live it. Let me tell you a story about a man named Tissa who lived in a small fishing village. Tissa was known for his kindness. He shared his catch with those who had none. He helped repair the nets of elderly fishermen. He listened to the troubles of his neighbors with genuine care. Everyone loved Tissa. But Tissa had a secret. Every night, alone in his hut, he would weep. He felt like a fraud. He knew that his kindness was not pure. When he shared his fish, part of him wanted to be seen as generous. When he helped repair nets, part of him wanted the gratitude of the elderly. When he listened to troubles, part of him felt superior for being a good listener. His kindness was always mixed with something else. It was never clean. One day, a monk came to the village. Tissa approached him and confessed his secret. "I am a hypocrite," he said. "My goodness is never just goodness. There is always an I hiding in it, wanting something, needing something. I am exhausted from this constant contamination." The monk smiled. "Let me tell you about a river," he said. "A river flows from the mountains to the sea. It carries many things, leaves, stones, soil, sometimes even garbage. But the river does not try to purify itself. It does not worry about what it carries. It just keeps flowing. And as it flows, the heavy things sink. The leaves decompose. The garbage is broken down by the sun. The river reaches the sea clean, not because it tried to be clean, but because it kept moving." Tissa was confused. "What does this have to do with me?" The monk said, "Your kindness is the river. The ego that contaminates it is the leaves and stones. Do not try to purify yourself before you act. Do not wait until your motives are pure. Just keep acting with kindness. Keep flowing. And as you flow, the ego will sink. The contamination will decompose. Not because you fought it, but because you kept moving in the right direction. This story reveals something essential about the spiritual life. We often think we must become perfect before we can act. We think we must eliminate all selfishness before we can be truly generous. We think we must become completely egoless before we can love purely. This thinking becomes another trap, another way for the ego to delay, to procrastinate, to avoid living. The Buddha's path is not about waiting for perfection. It is about practicing now, with all your imperfections. It is about acting with what awareness you have, knowing that the awareness will deepen through the acting. It is about flowing like the river, trusting that the flow itself will purify you. Think about your own life. How many times have you delayed being kind because you felt your motives were not pure enough? How many times have you held back love because you were afraid it was mixed with need? How many times have you refused to help because you suspected you wanted something in return? This is the ego's most subtle trick. It uses the desire for purity to prevent any action at all. It says, wait until you are better. Wait until you are ready. Wait until you are enlightened. And while you wait, life passes by. Opportunities to love, to serve, to connect, slip away. The Buddha says, do not wait. Act now. Be kind now. Love now. Help now. The ego will be there, yes. It will attach itself to your actions. But as you continue to act, as you continue to flow, the ego will gradually lose its grip. It cannot survive in the current of genuine giving. It will be washed away. This is the practice of the bodhisattva, the one who postpones their own final liberation to help others. Not because they are perfect, but because they understand that helping others is the path. The river reaches the sea not by standing still and waiting to be clean, but by flowing, always flowing, carrying everything toward the ocean. In your life today, there will be opportunities to be kind. Small opportunities. A word of encouragement to a struggling coworker. A moment of patience with a difficult family member. A small act of generosity for a stranger. In each of these moments, you will feel the ego rise. It will want credit. It will want gratitude. It will want to feel good about itself. Do not wait until the ego is gone. Act anyway. Let the ego come along. Let it attach itself. But keep acting. Keep flowing. And over time, something shifts. The ego's grip loosens. The actions become lighter. The kindness becomes more natural. The river reaches the sea. This is not a theory. This is a practice you can begin right now, in this very moment. Look around. Who needs your kindness? What small act of generosity can you offer? Do not analyze your motives. Do not wait for purity. Just act. Just flow. The rest will take care of itself. Welcome to the concluding chapter of our journey together. We have walked far, exploring the Buddha's radical teaching of emptiness, the middle way, the walls we build, and the recognition that what we seek has always been here. Now we arrive at the end, which is really just the beginning. Let me tell you one final story. It is about a woman named Anika who lived in a small village at the edge of a great forest. From childhood, she had heard stories about a magnificent temple hidden deep in the forest. It was said to be made of gold and precious gems, tended by enlightened beings who had transcended all suffering. Anika dreamed of finding this temple. As soon as she was old enough, she packed a small bag and entered the forest. She walked for days, then weeks, then months. She faced wild animals, treacherous rivers, and her own growing doubts. But she pressed on, driven by the vision of that golden temple. One evening, exhausted and ready to give up, she sat down beneath a large tree and wept. She had given everything to this search, and still she had found nothing. As the sun set and darkness gathered, she leaned against the tree and fell into a restless sleep. In the middle of the night, she woke suddenly. The moon was full, casting silver light through the leaves. And in that light, she saw something she had missed. The tree she was leaning against was ancient, magnificent. The roots formed natural steps. The branches created a canopy like a roof. Moss and flowers decorated its trunk like offerings. She looked around and saw that the clearing where she sat was beautiful beyond words. The stream nearby sang a song sweeter than any hymn. The night air carried the scent of jasmine. She stood up and laughed. She had been so focused on finding a temple made by human hands that she had missed the temple already surrounding her. The forest itself was the temple. The tree was the shrine. The stream was the scripture. It had been here all along, waiting for her to stop searching long enough to see it. This is the final teaching. You have been searching for something you believe is missing. Peace, happiness, enlightenment, freedom. You have looked everywhere. You have studied, practiced, strived. And all the while, what you seek has been here, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to stop long enough to recognize it. Not in some future moment. Not after more practice. Not after you become a better person. Right now. In this breath. In this sound. In this awareness that is reading these words. The Buddha's greatest gift was not a philosophy or a religion. It was an invitation to see clearly. To see that the flame of ego is just a temporary flicker. To see that what you truly are is the vast, empty sky in which all flames arise and pass away. To see that you have never been separate from the peace you seek. So here we are at the end of our time together. But the real journey is just beginning. It begins the moment you close this recording and return to your life. Will you return to the same old searching, the same old grasping, the same old suffering? Or will you carry with you this simple recognition, that what you seek is already here, hidden in the ordinary moments of your ordinary day? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for your attention, your presence, your willingness to sit with these ancient teachings. May you find the courage to let go of everything you are not. May you discover the peace that has always been your true nature. May you recognize the temple that has always surrounded you. This is Monk's Temple. Until we meet again.